That's what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys. What are you talking about?
Hey, everybody. Welcome into The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. This is episode 130. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burleyman Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. Burley and Carl, how you doing? How have you been this week?
Good. As always. No,
As always, okay.
I hope I'm always
That's
good.
awesome. Yeah. Burley, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I actually slept almost like 9 hours last night, so it was
9 hours.
nice to get. Yeah,
He
Yeah,
said
you
almost.
younglings, man, you guys can actually do that. I mean, it's like people my age. We after like 4 or 5 hours, we just wake up. You know.
Oh, I used to live on for 4 hours of sleep, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'm
anyway,
bad, actually.
Yeah. So we got a great show for you. We're going to be talking about Sega. Sega had some big news this week. PlayStation had some more news as well. Nintendo had an Indie World Showcase. We're going to be showing you the indie games. So lots of indies to show for you that came out this week. Of course, there was some rumblings about HiFi Rush, the game that came out on Game Pass. We're going to be talking about that a little bit as well. And then, of course, our topic of the show, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, is going to be coming out this coming week. And, of course, we're going to be talking about what we would like to see for the Star Wars franchise in the video game end of things into the future, what we would like to see. So that's going to be our topic of the show. So stay tuned for that. But before we get into all of that and before we get into what we've been playing this past week, here is a brief word about where you can find the podcast in video and audio formats.
Crew discuss what they have been playing. This episode of The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast's ad-free version in audio and video formats, will be going to Patreon after being recorded. So if you would like to support the show and become a patron at the entry tier 1 level at $1 per month and get every episode including exclusive ad-free post-show content in video format when recorded, please visit patreon.com/thearena_podcast for further details. The audio version of the podcast will be uploaded to all free podcast services, where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, and in the video version will be on our YouTube channel, The Arena Productions. For the audio version, just download your favorite podcast app and search for The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a Discord called The Arena Podcast, where you can join and chat with the Arena Podcast community, and the podcast audio website is at thearenapodcast.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. For all information regarding the podcast and our entertainment and pop culture related content, along with our blog and forums, visit the official website of The Arena Productions at www.thearenaproductions.com. Finally, you can also follow us on Twitter at The Arena, AMPGNP, as well as on Instagram at The Arena_podcast. Now, back to the show.
Okay, guys, I'll talk about what I've been playing. I briefly had a chance to play some games this week because of we're so busy with all the content over here on the Arena Productions with our Star Wars and our Star Trek content. But what I did get a chance to play, and I had completely forgot about it for a while, but the last DLC content for Assassin's Creed Valhalla came out in November last year. And I just decided to go back to it and play it. It's called The Last Journey. I think that's what it's called. But, and it's interesting as you play the DLC, there is a particular character in the story of this final DLC that, is a particular character in an upcoming Assassin's Creed game. So yeah, I mean, I'm just playing that. You have to have leveled up your village Ravensthorpe to at least level 5, I think it is, to be able to do this. Yeah, and you have
That's
to.
a lot of grinding.
Yeah, that's a lot of grinding. Well, I put over 110 hours into the game, so I mean, yeah. And you had to finish all of the main story quests and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's fun. It'll probably take another couple hours to finish, but I was doing that. So it's more of Eivor. I'm playing as Eivor, the female protagonist. So
it's you're talking about the character who's in Mirage.
The other character that he's kind of
him.
I mean, I just okay. There you go, Carl. Yes, yeah, Bassam. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Bassam. He is in. Yeah, he is in this DLC. Yes.
Well, how do you feel about this character? Tell me about him a little bit, because I'm curious.
Well, for those who have not played Assassin's Creed Valhalla, anyway, Bassam is an assassin, but they're not the Assassin's Order yet. They're called the Hidden Ones, because this is still like in the 900s, and so it's another 200 years before they actually become the Assassin's Order under the original Altair character from the first game, which is in Istanbul. Yeah, I mean, so he is kind of like a mentor to Eivor through the game. But then, something else happens later on, and I don't want to spoil it for those who have not played the game. But anyway, so they decided, Assassin's Creed Mirage was supposed to be a DLC, like a big DLC to Valhalla, because it's basically Bassam's backstory.
Right.
And how he joined the Hidden Ones and all. But then they decided to make it a full-on game. And so, of course, they have to put him in this DLC, this final DLC, because of some of the things that happened towards the end of Assassin's Creed Valhalla's main story. So that's all I'm going to say. But yeah, so.
When do you guys think we're going to see that game again? It's been a while.
Well, yeah, probably in the next couple of months. I mean, it's supposed to be coming soon. You're talking about
Mirage. Yeah.
Mirage, yeah. So
because they haven't shown it, and it supposedly was this year, but I don't know if they've said it's not this year anymore.
I think it's going to be this year.
I think around when E3, they're going to do their kind of E3 event.
Yeah,
I think that's when we'll get some actual gameplay and more trailer footage of Mirage.
Right.
Because Mirage, I think, has like a date for like September or something, like tentatively around there. Last I remember, I checked.
Yeah.
I hope it's a big hit, and then Square Enix is like, "Oh, we can go back to the old style of our big franchise." All right, let's.
Yeah, but when it comes to the Assassin's Creed franchise, I mean. Everybody's waiting for the Japanese game, So,
I'm sure that one will be really good.
Yeah, we shall see. But anyway,
I am curious in the mobile, like China one too, just because it's a different aesthetic.
Mobile.
I mean, it's interesting. Yeah, I mean, like I don't really want to play on mobile, but it's probably gonna be like a high quality looking game that you're gonna be like, oh, why is that on mobile only?
Yeah, well, all of you that haven't played the 2D Assassin's Creed games, the one based on China, and then there was one based on India and then Russia. I highly recommend those as well. They're more platformers than anything, but still, they're good games. I highly recommend them. So,
and those remind me of like the old Prince of Persia games, the original.
Yeah. So, all right, Burley. What have you been playing this past week? I know what you've been playing, but anyway, go ahead, talk about it.
I finished off RE4 remake.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I overall enjoyed the remake and can recommend it. Mm-hmm. But in all honesty, I would just wait for the price point that they're putting for this. You do definitely, if you really loved RE2 remake. Mm-hmm. And you bought that like on day one, I think you'll really enjoy RE4 remake and you'll get your money's worth. But for the majority, I can say just wait. Like I like the new request system. of the challenges in each chapter you're doing to get the extra little treasure that you can trade to the merchant to get extra things. Like at the end of the game, I really like that. It's kind of nice is if you have leftover treasure and you don't have of this kind of treasure and you don't have enough for what you want, some of the bigger stuff, you can either save it for like a new game plus run, or you can use it. He'll have like these items of like you can buy gun ammo or first aid sprays. Nice. So that way you're not, if you're low on money, you still have a chance.
Nice.
I've also played the Horizon Forbidden West DLC, Burning Shores.
Now, did you finish it?
I have not. I have not finished the story, and I've got about 7 hours in.
Yeah, that's my next game. Yeah,
it is. If you like Horizon Forbidden West,
yes,
you will like this DLC. I'll go into more details later on that DLC.
Nice.
Carl,
how about you, man?
Quick question on it. Can you feel any sort of difference in it being like PS5 only versus the other one which had last gen?
Yeah, good question.
I can't really, in all honesty, I can't really notice much difference that this is PS5 only, that this needed to be PS5 only. Like this, in my opinion, from what I've been played so far, could have come to the PS4 as the downgraded version with the longer load time and not as pretty graphically, because graphically this just looks like really good.
Yeah, it's Horizon. Yeah, I mean it's beautiful. So
yeah.
All right, how about you, Carl?
Just Persona 4 Golden.
Still going through
plugging
that.
away.
Yeah. Are you at the 40-hour mark yet?
I'll tell you in a second, I guess.
Okay.
So when another thing, remember how I was saying like, man, there's just so many similarities. Like there's also I kind of saw him a little bit, but like now I'm into that part of the game. There's like this detective character, and I'm like, come on. Oh yeah. Like, what's up with this weird like idea of these like underage detectives in Japan? Is that a thing? Like why?
Well, everybody spies on everybody out here, I guess. It's just when it comes to kids and stuff. I mean,
there was a kid who's like going around in America claiming he's detective. They're like, "What the hell are you talking about? Like you're freaking."
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, Persona 5 was basically built off of Persona 4 Golden's structure. I mean,
I am at, let's see, 49 hours.
49. All right.
Almost okay, so he's at the second dungeon now.
Honestly, like, it's probably like 6 or so I've already run through, if I had to guess.
Wow, that's more than I've hit in Persona at the same Persona 5 at the same time. Amount of time. Wow. It's
at 5 or 6 because they're very simple. I mean, even this like last one, like they try to add a little bit of something in a couple of them that makes it a little different than just like go through the random thing, find the stairs, go to the next floor, go to the next floor, go to the next floor until you get to the boss. Occasionally, like this one had like I got up to like some floor or whatever number higher up, and then it's like, oh, you can't go through this door, it's locked, you need a thing.
Yeah.
So you got to find like this key, and then you found the key, and then it's like, oh, it's not for this door. It was for another door on a lower level. I'm like, oh, okay. So I got to go back to that level, and then I got to fight some boss thing, and then go back up. And it's just like, well, okay. But really, all that amounts to is just like more floors. If you think about it, it could have just had 13 floors instead of me going to like 6, then back down to 4, and then back up to 9. Yeah, so like it's not bad. Like you just get into a rhythm and it's fine. But it's still a great game. It's these such like good character driven. Like I care about the characters, what they're doing in their lives, and the main plot is cool and I like it. But like there's not a lot of games where it's like, oh yeah, like I just enjoying the characters hanging out and like doing their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I highly recommend, if you don't know about this anime in Japan, it's called Detective Conan. And Conan is a boy, and he's a child prodigy, and he's a detective.
There you go.
Oh, he's not a barbarian?
No, he's not a barbarian, Burley. No, yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Yeah, I mean, when you think of Conan, you think of Conan the Barbarian out here in the West, but no, he's not a barbarian. He's a little child prodigy, and he's a detective. And he's in the animes and in the comic books and movies. Yeah, so very popular out here in Japan. So
I got my waifu already. You know.
the waifu.
Yeah,
Oh,
I picked my girl, and I'm not cheating. All right, I'm not only doing the one.
Cool. All right.
You maxed out your Jack Frost persona?
No, who cares about Jack Frost?
It's one of the best. It's one of the best
He's
personas, and he's also one of the mascots of the series.
Yeah, he is. He. There's like I noticed.
I don't know why, but I just love him.
I don't know what I was thinking, but I saw somewhere like was it in this game or was it a different one where he was on like a vending machine, and I'm like, oh, so like what's the context of like Jack Frost as a mascot within the persona like a regular world? I'm curious about that.
Yeah. All right. So those are the games that we've been playing. So now it's time to get into the weekly news beat. So first story came earlier this week, and of course, Sega is going to buy Rovio. Yeah, so Rovio obviously is the company that develops Angry Birds, and they're huge in the mobile space. And so I'm going to read a little bit of this article for you here from Video Games Chronicle. So an official press release, Sega Sammy Holdings stated that it plans to make a tender offer to acquire, quote, the entirety of Rovio's outstanding shares and options, end quote. This will cost Sega a total of $776 million US, notably lower than the $1 billion reported by the Wall Street Journal. The acquisition is considered a quote, friendly takeover, end quote, as Sega states that, quote, Rovio's board of directors has agreed to and expressed support towards the tender offer. Sega expects to close the deal by, quote, the second quarter of fiscal year 2024, end quote, which means it should be complete by September of this year. According to its statement, Sega has acquired the Angry Birds studio to bolster its own live service mobile game portfolio. It wants to use, quote, Rovio's distinctive know-how in live service mobile game operation to bring Sega's current and new titles to the global mobile gaming market, where there is large potential, end quote. At the same time, Sega also claims that Rovio wants to go beyond mobile games and wants to help it accomplish this. Quote, Rovio is aiming to expand its platform outside of mobile gaming, and Sega will actively look to support this process through its capabilities, end quote. Sega Sammy Holdings president and group CEO Haruki Satomi said, quote, among the rapidly growing global gaming market, the mobile gaming market has especially high potential, and it has been Sega's long-term goal to accelerate its expansion in this field. Quote, I feel blessed to be able to announce such a transaction with Rovio, a company that owns Angry Birds, which is loved across the world and home to many skilled employees that support the company's industry-leading mobile game development and operating capabilities, end quote. So, guys, the mobile gaming space, Angry Birds is huge globally. And I just want to say to all of you listeners and viewers out there, happy Earth Day. So do what you can to keep our planet clean on this day. But I want to ask you guys, how big is this acquisition for Sega? Let's start with that first. Burley, I'll start with you.
This is big for Sega. So this shows to me they're really wanting to really push in mobile. Like, I know they've been doing mobile games over the last like 10 years, but a lot of their mobile games I don't feel have gone over well. So why do it yourself when you have a company that has done it quite well? Angry Birds was super hugely popular, and there's been like, I don't know what, like 30 different Angry Birds games now by now.
Mm-hmm.
So why not get them? And I made the little joke in our little Discord chat. When they get them in September, October is Persona Angry Birds, and November is Sonic Angry Birds.
Yeah. So, Carl, how big of an acquisition is this for Sega to plunge into the mobile gaming market?
I mean, yeah, I guess that's the real thing. It's everybody wants to get into mobile, right? It's a big deal now. Make sure that that's part of your, I guess, like gaming publishing portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of don't really see it. Like I understand. Like this seems like it makes sense. Like when I think of Angry Birds, I'm like, yeah, that feels like that could be a Sega IP, you know. And yeah, I see the potential to like, all right, yeah. Does Sonic have a good mobile presence yet? I don't think so. So if you can get Rovio to develop a really good popular Sonic mobile game, that makes sense. But I don't know. Has any of this actually happened or worked out before? I don't think so, right? Has anybody like, we bought this big mobile company and they turned our other IP into like a big successful like,
No, this would make
mobile
precedence,
franchise.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, like because Microsoft's doing it with ABK, like the King side. Like, is King gonna say, all right, some of you Candy Crush people, you work on Halo, Halo Crush or something.
Halo Crush, yeah.
Oh God, Carl, don't give them these ideas. Don't.
Gears Crush. I mean,
yeah,
like,
right.
So
like I don't know. Like, is that gonna work?
Forza Horizon Crush, where you use the cars to crush down the candy block.
I mean, look, Sega. What can we get? Persona 5 Phantom X in the US and anywhere else outside of China? Like, why are you letting that just go to China and China only?
Yeah,
I'm sure that'll come over.
Yeah, and it might.
Well,
I looked up the company who makes it, and they have had other games come to the US. So.
Well, Carl, what company does Sega own that you're playing the game of right now?
Atlas.
Yeah. So just think, have an Atlas mobile, have a Persona 6 mobile.
Well, that's what I was just
like
saying. There's already a Persona 5 mobile game, but it's not made. They just outsourced it to some Chinese company who wanted to make it. But
just think if now the Rovio people can actually work on that and help with that.
Yeah, then it'll be some like crappy like Angry Birds sort of like that's the thing is like Angry Birds like that to me feels like I don't know a decade ago. Like what is like does anybody play Angry Birds still today? I don't understand a lot. I feel like Angry Birds.
I haven't played it since I was in college.
Okay, yeah, so that's you people in the West talking, but out here in Japan, I'm sure there's a ton of kids on their iPads, on their on their Apple devices that are playing Angry Birds.
Because wasn't Angry Birds 2 where they changed the like monetization of it, right? It wasn't like Angry Birds, the other ones where you just bought it and you had all the things. Like it was like your typical, gotcha type thing, I guess. I don't know, where you had like
gotcha and buy more maps and
whatever,
and
right?
Like
yeah, and then didn't they like we're shutting down like Angry Birds 1 because like not enough people are playing or buying an Angry Birds 2. Yeah, they're just playing that instead. I'm like, because that's how we like that, and you can't just take something away and change it to something different, expect it to work.
Yeah, I just think because mobile gaming is so big internationally, I think you're going to see more of this where you're going to see like the Segas, the Microsofts, the PlayStations trying to gobble up a lot of these huge mobile developing companies, like the AAA of mobile, I'll say. To get into that space, because to be able to compete in the future, especially in the mobile space, which is going to be huge, even bigger than it is now. I think we're going to see more of this happening, more acquisitions of this type. So,
yeah. I mean, everyone's doing it. Microsoft, like I said, Sony's got their mobile stuff that they've built, and they've bought someone. And,
Heck, Nintendo's done it with Mario Run and all that.
Right, and they've had some
Pokemon
success,
Go.
And some things that didn't. Because mobile is all video gaming. It's all fickle. You never know what's going to work and what's not.
Yeah.
Oh, who knows? Maybe with this, they'll bring back a franchise of yours that I know you really would love to see. Shining Force on mobile.
Which they tried, and then that just got canceled. I was depressed because I looked actually really good. I like the design that they were going with.
Yeah. Well, speaking of another acquisition, PlayStation still playing around with buying studios that they've had long-term relationships with. So this time, Firewalk Studios is joining the mix with PlayStation.
I wouldn't say long term on this one, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, for years. I'll just put it that way. So anyway, so PlayStation has agreed to purchase, to acquire AAA multiplayer developer Firewalk Studios. And here is the link to the story from GameIndustry.biz, which I'll read a little bit of it for you. PlayStation has agreed to acquire Firewalk Studios, a AAA multiplayer developer that is working on live service games for PS5 and PC. If the name sounds familiar, it's because Sony had already announced it would be publishing Firewalk's first game back in April of 2021. It is the third dedicated live service game studio that PlayStation has acquired over the last 18 months, alongside Bungie and Haven Studios. So obviously, I think this could be a reaction to the Microsoft deal with King. Yeah, it could be as well. So Firewalk was set up in 2018 as part of probably Monsters, a collective of AAA game developers. It was formed by a number of Bungie veterans, including studio head Tony Hsiu, previously general manager and senior vice president of Destiny and Activision, and game director Ryan Ellis, previously creative director at Bungie. It now boasts almost 150 employees. Firewalk is the 20th developer to join PlayStation Studios. So, Carl, I'll start with you on this. How significant of an acquisition is this for PlayStation?
Like a 0 out of 10. Like, who cares? No,
It's the Xbox guy and you talking right there. I know it right there, man.
All right. One out of 10. Here's the thing with
1.25. Okay.
The thing with this is that
That's too high.
This is I look at this as very risky. It could work out. It could end up being great, and we don't know what they paid for this because these smaller deals they just don't talk about. And actually, it's not a publicly traded thing, so they don't have to.
Yeah.
But and they're like, oh, it's a AAA studio. Like, are they? They've made nothing. So, I mean, what the hell? What are you getting? I guess they like what the progress is of the game that they already purchased for exclusivity previously. So they're happy with it, and they like let's put a ring on it, But I don't know. It's someone's cashing out early, right? Like, think about these guys, oh yeah, we built this studio and we started making a game, and Sony's came to us and they liked it. They acquired our exclusivity on our game, and then they're like, here's a whole buttload of cash for the whole thing, and they're like, cool, we haven't made anything yet, thanks, that's awesome.
Well, I mean,
I'll be a millionaire now.
This studio is, they're really good at making multiplayer games, live service games, and
they've made nothing.
I think more expats is meeting with the people, because you've got people from Bungie and all over here.
Right. I get that, but a handful of people who have experience and then building a new studio and they've never worked together and they've never built a game. I have no idea what to expect. I mean,
well, it seems like PlayStation.
That, right?
It seems like PlayStation is trying to jump more into the live service space. So. For
sure, and I get that, right? And that's why I also don't really care what this studio is making, because I'm not going to play something like that. But they bought who are the other ones?
Haven and Haven. Bungie. Haven's a Canadian.
Haven
yeah.
Right. But what I was going to say is, Haven's another one with some people who are industry vets who are building a studio who never put a game out yet, and Sony's like, all right, we're going to buy you. And Savage Game Studios, a bunch of mobile veterans who are building a team who never put a game out yet, and Sony bought them. I mean, it's weird. All those could end up great. All those could end up dumpster fires. Blue Point, like sort of in that realm of like they've never made a game, an original IP. They've never designed a video game. They've only done remakes.
But they do good remakes.
Yeah, they do. They do. But like, does that mean that they can design a really cool original game? I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, so let's move over to Burley here. Burley, you're more of the PlayStation guy here, obviously. So, how big of an acquisition is this for PlayStation?
This isn't very big, in my opinion. This is just them. We already have 2 studios in for live service. Let's double down. We can get them on the cheap now. Get them on the cheap. Hope it really pays off. They're really going in live service. I'm not huge on live service because 90% of the time I feel it's like I play for a couple hours and be like, okay, this is just a waste of my time, and never again go back to these games. It's like you already had Haven, you already had Bungie. I think this was enough. That was enough. This studio, yeah, you already had exclusivity probably on their first game that's in develop. We don't know what it is. Great. Yeah, you had the exclusivity. I would have just waited to see how that game performs before and then go buy them. And still, I feel this is just a waste of money. I would have saved that money, go for some other bigger studios that have a better track record. Because I have to agree a little bit with Carl. You may have industry vets in here, but this studio hasn't made anything, and you don't know because one person's from that company, one person's from another company. How are they going to be able to work together? No, over here at there, we did it this way. We at Bungie didn't do it that way, so we're not going to do it the way you did it.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. I guess they have a lot of faith in these developers and what they can produce, and so I guess for Sony it's a long-term investment. We shall see what happens. But
I will say, like, I get it. It makes sense if you're building what we think is probably a live service game, right?
Yeah.
If you don't own that studio, that's problematic because in the future you need them to keep working on that game. And what if someone else comes along and's like, well, we're going to pay you to make something else because we love what you did. And now they're not available to keep doing work on your
Nintendo goes by them and says, you can't have it on PlayStation no more. No more updates for the PlayStation version. Only for the Switch 2.
Yes, the Switch 2. The greatest console.
Ooh, Carl's flipping into Nintendo now. Ooh.
Yeah, I gotta get out of Xbox. You know, everybody's jumping ship right now. It looks like everything's burning in flames at the moment because of small, tiny stories that come out.
Come to PlayStation. You'll be better off.
Yeah. Maybe.
All right, guys. It's time to talk about some indie games. So we had the Indie World Showcase that came out this past week, and from IGN, the article of all the games that were announced, and we're going to show you those games here. And of course, I'll read a little bit of the information about some of the games, and of course, we'll react to them as we show them. And for you audio listeners, I'm going to play some background music for you as well, for you video viewers as well here, as we go through the games and we discuss them. So let's go ahead and get into them. So first up, let me go ahead and get this started here. Okay, so first game, Mineco's Night Market. Okay. Mauza Games, long in development, finally received a release date as part of the Indie World Showcase's opening act. First announced way back in 2015, Mineco's Night Market turned heads with its beautifully watercolor graphics, focusing on Japanese mythology and hordes of cats. It will cast players as Mineko as they explore, craft objects, befriend townsfolk, and take part in the local night market, where they can sell virtually everything they find. So guys, what do you think?
I am curious about what actually you do in this game because I'm watching this video for the first time and just kind of waiting to see what you do.
Mm-hmm.
You walk around the town. You could probably sell stuff, find stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Interact with cat shrines.
Yeah.
The art style. I like the art style.
It is.
It's unique.
Yeah. Yep, the you got the Nico monkeys there, yeah, in the winter season.
And
so,
cutting flowers right, getting them to be sold. There you go.
Yeah.
Also announced for PC.
Yep.
Yeah.
The full version will land on Nintendo Switch. The full version will land on the Switch in the summer. So, I don't have a release date.
Also coming to they didn't say everything according to this other article. PlayStation and Xbox as well. I gotta know which ones I care about, because they're on the platform that I care about. It's mean.
Okay, My Time at Sandrock lands in the summer. So the Nintendo Switch version of My Time at Sandrock received an extended showing here at the showcase, where developer Pathea Games narrowed its official release window while talking about the inspiration it draws from the Gobi Desert. Currently in early access over on Steam, My Time at Sandbox is a follow-up to My Time at Portia, allowing players to assemble machines, build up their workshop, and customize their home.
There's so many games like this. It's like,
come on, Carl. That's what people like to do. I mean, I mean,
people don't want to really live their life,
especially during the COVID era. I mean, during COVID times when people couldn't go outside, these are the only type of games they played. Basically.
Yeah, I'm not saying these aren't fun. I like some of these games for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, the Game Pass just got Homestead Arcana, which is another one of these sort of, farming, building, whatever, but you're a witch in that one. Like, all right, great.
Okay, here comes another one. Played Up combines Overcooked with roguelike mechanics. What if Overcooked were a roguelike management sim? That's the premise behind Played Up.
Oh, yeah.
A Yogcast published game first released on Steam back in 2022. Like Overcooked, Played Up teams up to 4 chefs via local or online multiplayer, but with the added ability to create, decorate, and automate the restaurant of your dreams. Yeah, with items like turbo ovens. The ultimate goal is to survive 15 days while serving increasingly fickle customers. Launches in October.
Yeah. I've had my issues with Overcooked. Trying to make it a roguelike with it.
I don't know.
No.
Not for me, for sure.
Yeah, not for me, but I like the turbo ovens and stuff. That could be really neat. But like these games get chaotic enough. I don't know if anyone here has actually sat and played any of the Overcooked.
Yeah, I played a little bit of it, yeah.
They can get chaotic on the harder levels, and then if you're playing with someone that knows what they're doing, and then there's me that sucks at this, it gets crazy.
Yeah, it's a fun party game. These things are. They look. I mean, this looks like a mobile game to me, obviously.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Next up, Quilts and Cats of Calico. Board game fans will be familiar with Calico, a charming board game in which you score points by creating patterns that attract cats. Quilts and Cats of Calico, an official video game adaptation of by Monster Couch, visualizes the original board game with a soft-looking quality, or quilty and fully animated and customizable cats. Featuring local and online multiplayer, ranked matches, and weekly challenges, it looks to be a robust addition to Nintendo's local multiplayer lineup. Out in the fall.
It's an
You
actual
can customize the cats.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah.
It's like what the actual board game looks like.
10 out of 10 because you can customize the cats.
Yeah.
Oh god, rhythm based.
Oh, this thing,
Yeah. So Rift of the Necrodancer. So a spin-off of Crypt of the Necrodancer, Rift is a rhythm game with lane-based combat, powerful monsters, and boss fights. So Rift of the Necrodancer will feature multiple characters and a new storyline, and it figures to be one of 2023's standout games when Brace Yourself Games releases it later this year.
It looks
The
pretty
animation and art style looks really good.
cool. Yeah. Actually does remind me of like Hi-Fi Rush in some ways.
Yeah. I was just about to say that, Carl. Yeah, the animation style there. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Ooh, I like the little goop monsters there on the lanes. And the things changing on the lanes. That's neat to keep you guessing of really keep the rhythm going, but it's like knowing me and my lack of rhythm, this is not a game for me.
Yeah.
Watch other people play it.
Yeah. Yoga rhythm.
There you go.
All right. Okay. Little to the left, Cupboards and Drawers DLC. So this was not in the article here. So this is one of the games that they didn't mention.
I can see why.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah. Probably, yeah. It was omitted on purpose. Yeah.
Well, this is self-explanatory by just watching this.
Yeah.
I get it. Ooh.
Yeah.
Already done.
Yeah. Yep. Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon Puzzlers Pack DLC. So this also was not in the article either. So, but yeah. So just be. I think it's because of DLC. That's why. Yes.
Yeah, we've known about this for a while.
Yeah.
That covers one makes me think of Unpacking. I don't know if it's like as like a chill game like that. You know?
Yeah.
Is that something you're gonna sit and play with your daughter? You put away things here.
Yes.
That's how you teach her.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Cult of the Lamb DLC.
Yep.
Just cool like animation.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
This is a game I will
Relics
pick
of the
up
Old
one.
Faith. Yeah. Update. Yeah. Good stuff.
And it's actually a free update. This Cult of the Lamb. You don't pay for this.
Nice.
So more content for free.
Yeah. Always a good thing. Yeah. These levels here. Yeah.
This is the first time I've actually seen the gameplay. Like I've just heard about it, but I've never actually seen it.
Yeah. Okay, next up, Animal Well, confirmed for early 2024. Shared Memory and Big Mode share Animal Well, a pixelated game in which you play as what seems to be a tiny meatball exploring a dense, interconnected labyrinth. The maze is filled with many dangers, including animals that will try to eat you, but items will help you escape. The atmospheric puzzler will be out in early 2024. Carl, you were going to say something?
That was funny that he was getting eaten.
Yeah.
And it looks cute.
Yeah.
Cute little Metroidvania. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Ooh, yo-yo.
Yeah. There you go. Animal Well. All right. Yep. And next up is Crime O'Clock. So this new crime-solving game stretches across time and space, featuring cases set in era like the Lost Age and, quote, cybernetic future, end quote. Events in one era will change those in another, and solving cases will change the map to unlock more mysteries elsewhere. Featuring a rather lovely black and white hand-drawn map and some dense mechanics, Crime O'Clock is set to release on Switch on June 20th.
I like that name. It's clever.
Yeah.
Good name.
Crime O'Clock.
I don't know about this game, but it looks like a puzzle thing. Yeah, it's like, I don't know.
This would be a game I wouldn't play myself, but I would watch people.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm bad with puzzles.
More fields, yeah. 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 Some type of puzzle games are really difficult to maneuver through. So. Yeah. All right. So Tesla Grad 2. Yeah. So Tesla Grad 2 and Tesla Grad Remastered. We're going to see that next. So Shadows Overloathing isn't the only game getting a shadow drop. Rain Games announced that Tesla Grad 2, a physics-based puzzler which you harness electromagnetic powers to make progress, is releasing on Nintendo Switch. It's out now. What's more, Rain Games is also releasing a remastered version of the original. Both games can be purchased together in the Tesla Grad Power Pack Edition, and you can check out the preview as well over on IGN. So
these look good. These look very good, actually.
Yeah.
If you're into, for some reason, it's making me think of like Inside and
yeah.
What's the other one?
Yeah.
Limbo, but like
Limbo.
much more action than those games.
Yeah. Monsters, mysteries,
Flappers, Felons.
Fishman,
Everything with F. Oh no, Goose.
Goose, Goblins,
Yeah.
Government Conspiracy,
Department of Magic, and World War
Cola
Circles.
Wars.
So weird. The stick figures.
Oh, yeah.
Stick
So-
figures. Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
You
In
got-
Japanese, we say Boningen.
is that a store over there in the U.S. or Japan? Cola Wars.
No.
But anyway, yeah. Shadows over Loathing. Yeah. I don't think we. It's set to release later this year, so we don't have a release date on it yet. But it's a sequel to West of Loathing.
Never heard of West of Loathing.
Yeah.
There's so many indies, and Nintendo's trying to highlight their bunch here.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's hard. Like Xbox had their idea at Xbox event. Sony doesn't have an indie event, but they always have indies show up at their state of plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Sony's sort of gone in the direction of like, we're only gonna highlight like the high end sort of indies that we want to market that's possibly on our services,
Yeah.
So, Blasphemous II gets first trailer and release window. Blasphemous received its first official reveal following the official announcement back last year. The new trailer features the return of the Penitent one and the original game's trademark pixel-based art, which will be paired with newly added weapons, an expanded moveset, progression systems, and custom builds.
Yeah, it's great pixel art, I must say.
Yeah.
Oh
Great
yeah.
animations. Yeah, I really like that, the way that looks.
Yeah. An
Team
eerie
17.
Metroidvania with gorgeous animations.
I will
Team
definitely
17.
keep my eye out.
Team
on
17
that one.
publishes a bunch of good stuff, actually.
All right, here we go. Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals gets a release date. So after previously being delayed. So Oxenfree 2, the sequel to the popular indie by Night School Studio and Netflix, officially has a release date. Set 5 years after the original game, it will star Riley as she returns to her hometown to investigate strange electromagnetic waves, and will feature a new walkie-talkie system that allows her to communicate with other characters. So Oxenfree 2 was previously delayed so that Night School Studios could make its, quote, best game ever, end quote, and is now scheduled to release on July 12th, with pre-orders available now.
So this is the one that made headlines because it's not on Xbox. It's on PlayStation, it's on Switch, it's on Netflix, apparently I think Mac OS, and they're just like, nope. The last two games the studio made on Xbox, one of them was on Game Pass. I think Oxenfree was on Game Pass, and now they're not, and everybody's wondering what the hell's the deal. And the speculation has been that Netflix is like, yeah, they own the studio now. They bought them.
Yeah.
And that they are looking at Microsoft as a competitor, and we're just not going to put it on their platform. But who knows if that's actually the case. It's a weird one. It's another weird one because usually it's Japanese studios that are like, yeah, we're just going to skip Xbox. But this is like a studio that's been on Xbox before, and then you don't know why they're doing this.
Yeah.
Maybe the one platform's a sinking ship. I mean, no.
That could be it too, bro. Like, who knows, right?
Yeah. Well, let's just say
Future
the
will tell.
Japanese companies they like to cater to their home market.
Yeah, which I get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and here's some other ones. Paper Trailer. So it comes out in August.
Puzzles.
Yes, Little Kitty, Big City coming next year, 2024.
Ooh.
Oh, it's like Stray, but more stuff to do.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that Untitled Goose Game.
No, it's not like Stray.
Chance of
It's just-
Senar on September 5th. Coming September 5th.
I don't know what this is. Like, Bro Tito.
Yes. Brotato coming this year at some point.
Look at all the shotguns it has.
Yeah, right.
Escape Academy Complete coming in the fall. Yeah. And then, of course, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach release, DLC info, and more. In addition to showing these numerous games, Nintendo also confirmed release dates for several games, the most notable of them being Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, which has now launched. So it's out now.
Yeah. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. That's cool because that's we're going into something else here.
Right, that's the next video. We will be,
that Bomb Rush
talking about
Cyberpunk
that later. Yes,
is like a Jet Set Radio type game. That looks pretty cool. Indie game. So.
Yeah,
Nice.
good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, so that was the Indie Showcase, Indie World Showcase that came out this past week. So yeah, go. You can go over to IGN and check out that article for all the information on all the games that we just showed. So yeah, good stuff. All righty. Okay, so now the video that actually started up like right after. So HiFi Rush obviously is our next story, of course. Yeah, there was some rumblings about whether or not, HiFi Rush was a breakout hit or if it was a bust. So here is the article for you. I will show you. So from Pure Xbox. So basically, Jeff Grubb, he's big in the gaming media and stuff, and he was talking on his show, saying that HiFi Rush hadn't made as much money as expected. They were expecting it to make a lot more money. But then, of course, Aaron Greenberg got wind of that. And so, of course, he came out with a tweet. And he's quoted in this tweet as saying, HiFi Rush was a breakout hit for us and our players in all key measurements and expectations. We couldn't be happier with what the team at Tango Gameworks delivered with this surprise release, end quote. So, yeah, I mean, Carl, I don't think HiFi Rush has a physical release, right? It's only digital?
It does not. Yeah.
It does not. Okay, so there you go. I mean, just think if it had a physical release, how much more it would have made. But, yeah, I mean...
maybe.
Yeah. So,
you never know. Doing, like, for a smaller game like that, physical release isn't always going to be a hit seller.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I think they should have done one. I don't know why. I get that it makes sense in that, like, it was a shadow drop. So, you weren't obviously going to do physical the same day. But if you look at what Nintendo did with Metroid Prime Remastered, they released it digitally and then the physical came later.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that strategy.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like, Jeff Grubb's sources are usually very good. So what he heard, I don't know what it was really, what they were talking about, what specific aspect they were talking about, because I can understand this game probably didn't make as much money as maybe someone expected, but
well, yeah, and plus it was on Game Pass day one, so I mean, obviously,
yeah.
I just don't know. It's like it sold pretty well on Steam. It had a good player base number, so all the metrics make sense for it to be a big success. Everyone who was talking about it reviewed really well.
Yeah.
I have to assume that it's just a matter of there are people who are like thinking it just could have done better. But I can't imagine that anyone within the company was like expectations were much higher than what it did, because you didn't market it, you shadow dropped it, and it's on Game Pass, and it's not this isn't a game that you would expect to sell incredibly well.
Well, and the style of game too. I mean, a rhythm-based game like this. I mean,
Right.
Compared to all the other types of games that are out there. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a great game, and I think it's doing well. So yeah,
I think it was amazing. I played the whole thing. I loved it. I want more.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna make a second one. I think they're gonna make a sequel for sure. Yeah. So.
I think there's potential to do something like an Ultimate Edition or something, and release a physical later this year.
Yeah.
Maybe add some content or whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like you said, Carl, shadow dropping, Game Pass, and all that really did not help for the sales numbers of this game. But like word of mouth have spread. I still constantly am hearing quite great things about HiFi Rush. I have yet to play it yet, but it is a game I do want to sit when I do get the time to sit and play.
Mm-hmm.
And I always hear from people, yeah, you gotta play it, you gotta play it, you gotta play it. It's on Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass.
Yeah, and
you might want to think twice about streaming it though, Burley, because I mean,
you don't have to worry.
There's a mode, right?
Yep.
Go ahead, Carl. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. You were just gonna say there's a streamer friendly mode. It's just replaced. The only songs you have to worry about are the boss battle songs.
Yeah.
But those they replace them in the streamer mode with original music. So
yeah.
I think also it's not on PlayStation, it's not on Switch, and Xbox has a smaller install base. So it's very obvious why it did what it did, but I think it made a lot of waves for where it is. And Xbox needs games like this, and whether or not they sold incredibly well, I don't think is as relevant as it's in the zeitgeist conversation of gaming.
Yeah.
And reviewed incredibly well. And it's gonna show up on Game of the Year lists for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and then of course you have, certain, media outlets too that are, more siding with PlayStation, pro PlayStation. They're probably the ones that were jumping on this and saying, "Oh, it's a dud." It didn't make enough money. But I don't agree with that. But
I saw the people on Twitter. This has gone crazy. People are comparing it to Forspoken. I mean, like,
oh god,
Forspoken made its money and it's better. I'm like, in what way? I'm like, Square had to buy that studio and bring them in. That game didn't make its money. And it's like,
you got 9 Inch Nails, yeah.
And I had to obviously assume Forspoken cost a lot more money to make.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%. And the best evers are like, oh yeah, Forspoken was reviewed better. It's like,
no,
not
even close.
Not even close. And it's like, you play as a guy that played the demo for Forspoken. That demo did more harm than good because it showed, this is how the game plays, and they're not giving you tutorials. Okay, I can skip this.
Yeah.
But you know what? Thanks for bringing this up and getting everybody to talk about HiFi Rush again. You should play it. It's fantastic.
Yes, it's amazing. It's a great game. Yes.
I definitely will play it and give my thoughts later in the year when I do get to it.
Yeah. And the studio is amazing too. So some great people working out there in Tokyo. So.
It put Tango Gameworks on the map for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And people weren't really, they made Evil Within 1 and 2, and they're good games.
Yes.
But I don't think a lot of people are saying like, oh yeah, I can't wait to see what they do. But they did this
Psycho Break,
and now everyone's like, yes, this is okay. Now we need to see what they can come up with next.
Yeah, the Evil Within, Psycho Break out here in Japan.
Yeah,
Psycho Break,
and Ghostwire Tokyo. They also did.
Yeah,
which I think looks pretty interesting. I haven't played it. It's on Game Pass now.
Yeah,
and PlayStation Plus Extra, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So it's time for the topic of the show, guys. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So Star Wars Jedi Survivor, the sequel to the last game, Jedi Fallen Order. Thank you, Burley. It's coming. is coming this week. So I thought we'd talk about some of the other games that are coming down the pipeline through the Star Wars gaming franchise, and what we would like to see come out of the Star Wars franchise when it comes to video games in the future. Obviously, a lot of people are excited to play Jedi Survivor. I'm one of them. Really, really excited and looking forward to it. To see the continuing saga of Cal Kestis and where he ends up and all. Yeah, guys. I mean, let's start with first with what we would like to see. What kind of games we would like to see created in the Star Wars universe when it comes to video games into the foreseeable future. Obviously, The Mandalorian season 3 just finished up. Of course, we've got Ahsoka coming up soon. So maybe we could see a game with like Mando or Ahsoka, something like that. And then, of course, we got the news at the Star Wars Celebration in London that 3 new movies are in the works too. And also, there was news that John Boyega actually might be coming back to join Daisy Ridley again in the new Jedi Order film that they're going to be making. So I'm hoping that happens for sure. But what would you like to see, guys, when it comes to the Star Wars franchise in future projects? I mean, maybe we're going to be talking about the stuff that they've already announced later, but something other than those that have been announced. What do you want to see? Carl, I'll start with you.
I want more original character stuff. Don't need to see more like fill in the blanks of this character's life or story.
Okay.
Same thing with the shows. I don't want any more fill in the blank stuff. It's like, there are a lot of people like, make a Mandalorian game. And I'm like, okay, maybe not Din Djarin then. Like, give me an original Mandalorian character that you can
Bo-Katan
follow.
Kryze?
No, because again, she's not. She's already got plenty of story from all across the different shows.
Yeah,
I don't need to fit into another time where she tried to become the leader of Mandalore and had the Darksaber and then lost it and then got it back and then blah 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 a million times. That just happened. We don't need that. Okay, just give me. Honestly, I don't even want a Mandalorian because Mandalorian has made me tired of Mandalorians. Like there's just so many of them and I had enough. Just give me an original, like I don't know, like a Han Solo or a type or something more techie. Give me a techie guy. There's a lot of cool tech in Star Wars, and you don't need the Force. And tech works really well for video games. There's a ton of cool features and extra things you can do with tech.
Yeah, well, like a character like Cassian Andor. I mean, that was such an original character when Rogue One came out. I mean, it's like nobody knew about him. I mean, so make a game with another original character that we don't know anything about. That would be awesome.
Yeah, and Dr. Aphra from the comics. Again, like that's not that character already exists and has a story. So like, but that type of like we're not doing your traditional like Jedi type, we've seen already. Give us something a little different there, or a turn-based RPG. Let's do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Knew you were gonna bring that up.
We should have seen that coming.
Burley, how about you, man?
Always open for that.
Yeah.
You know what? I think would be cool to see. I know we got Squadrons a few years ago.
Yeah.
But make a brand new X-Wing versus TIE Fighter game. You do that. I would love to see that with what we can do with Unreal 5 now. See that. That'd be something great. Like Carl, I agree with Carl. I want original characters and not just fill in the blank. But I'd like to, let's get some, we don't always have to be on the good side. Let's get some stuff, games where you're playing on the side of the Empire. Get stuff there.
Burley, I knew you were going to bring that up, man.
Hey, I'm okay with it. And then Dr.
Burley
Afra,
loves the Empire so much.
Dr. Afra is sort of on the bad side, right? She's like working for Darth Vader, sort of, and she has an evil version of like basically C-3PO and R2-D2 on her side.
Okay, let's look at these are some of the games that have been confirmed that are coming. So Star Wars Hunters coming to the Switch and Android, iOS. So Star Wars Hunters is a new team-based multiplayer game coming to mobile and Switch, made by developer Zynga and Lucasfilm Games. Star Wars Hunters takes place after the fall of the Galactic Empire.
Totally forgot about that game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Star Wars Hunters was originally set to launch sometime in 2022 before being pushed back to release sometime this year. So we shall see. But
and then pushed back to next year.
So 2025, we may have the game.
Maybe. Yeah, on the Switch 2, right, Burley? On the Switch 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
So launch
Maybe they're
game.
going to wise up and put it on PlayStation and Xbox as well.
Who knows? Yeah. And then, of course, we got Respawn's Star Wars first-person shooter. So currently, Respawn is working on, as of yet, untitled. It's an untitled Star Wars first-person shooter. Respawn game director Peter Hirschman is leading the development of the project, which was first revealed in January of last year. Hirschman is no stranger to the Star Wars franchise in the gaming space, having previous experience working on the original Star Wars Battlefront games.
The original ones, the good ones.
Yeah. As well as Star Wars The Force Unleashed. So.
See, this needs to be Burley's like Empire game where you just play as like some sort of stormtrooper guy and you're just killing rebels.
There you go. I'd love that. Or even someone who starts out as like a low growth stormtrooper works his way up in the Empire.
There's also the Dark Forces Jedi Knight games, right? That were
I love Dark Forces growing up.
Here you go. Star Wars Eclipse, first announced during the Game Awards of 2021. Star Wars Eclipse is a new action adventure from Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human developer Quantic Dream and Lucasfilm Games. Described as a branching narrative game, Eclipse takes place in the High Republic era in an, quote, uncharted region of the Outer Rim, quote.
Okay. That'll be interesting, though. Again, doing something different, probably gonna have all original characters, or maybe High Republic characters from the books that like no one really knows yet. They're gonna introduce us to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy looks like he's the character from what was it in Boba Fett, the other bounty hunter. The name isn't coming to me right now, but
I know who you mean, but I can't remember the name.
Yeah,
Cat Bane, wasn't it?
Yeah, Bane.
Cad Bane.
Yeah, Cat Bane, but supposedly Boba, and him were fighting. So, Knights of the Old Republic remake. So, it's set to deliver a new version of the much-loved RPG from 2003 to PS5 and PC. First revealed during the PlayStation 2021 showcase. Got the very first look at a revamped Darth Raven, who was a customizable protagonist in the original game. The remake is coming from Asper and Lucasfilm Games, former which has previously worked on several remasters of previous Star Wars games, including Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast. So,
and that game's in development trouble because I remember Sony had saw another bunch of industry people also saw it and were not very happy with it. So this game, who knows? I am on, like I think we said back in the day we wouldn't be surprised if this got canceled.
Yeah.
Next up, Ubisoft open world Star Wars game. Ubisoft is currently working on the new open world Star Wars game in collaboration with Disney and Lucasfilm Games, with development led by the division studio Massive Entertainment. The upcoming Ubisoft Star Wars game is set to be a story-driven adventure. Creative director Julian Garrity said in a post from Ubisoft that, quote, "We want to make it a unique game in the saga with a captivating story and a set of characters that players can relate to and connect with," end quote. So,
yeah, this is one I'm really looking forward to. because they could do something incredible. I mean, if you look at what they did with Hogwarts Legacy and taking that type of franchise and making an open world type of game, Star Wars has that potential and much more.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah,
They've done some good stuff.
Yeah.
This is one I can't wait to see. That one Ubisoft, but especially because the flip will make sense when you dive off the Eagle Towers. I mean, the whatever towers they're going to call them.
And finally, we've got Amy Hennig's Star Wars game, an as yet untitled Star Wars game. So from Skydance New Media in collaboration with Lucasfilm Games, veteran writer and director Amy Hennig will be at the helm of the studio, who's well known for previously working on big hits such as Uncharted and Jak and Daxter. The new Star Wars game is described as a narrative-driven action adventure, and while not much else has been revealed about the project, a report suggests it could well be a revival of a prior Star Wars project that was ultimately shuttered. While still unconfirmed, a leak pointed towards it bringing back Project Ratag, a game set during the Rebel Alliance era that was once in development at EA Studios Visceral. Project is still likely quite a ways off, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, those are the games that have been confirmed that are being worked on. So I mean, interesting future for the Star Wars franchise. But let's get some new characters.
They're just gonna keep making a lot of Star Wars games at this point. Just like
when do you think we'll get Battlefront 3?
Well, reportedly they canceled that. Like recently someone said that they were really close to making that, and then it got canceled like really really late in the some sort of I don't know if it was in development already or just like they had a lot going. They were pre-production. Who knows?
Yeah.
But Battlefront. Yeah, they screwed that up, and that's why I don't know. I don't really care. I don't think we need another Battlefront. Whatever.
Battlefront 2 is still it has a pretty big size player base. I mean,
Well, once they fixed Battlefront 2, like the one they put out in 2016, 2017, or whatever year it was. Like, because I got it because they gave it away free on PS Plus. After they fixed everything and took, because they had to, it's not a bad game. It's still fun, and it's something, if I wanted to, I could easily download and hop in and play.
Yeah.
So I don't think we need another that, but we know we're going to get another Lego game. Just a matter of what are we going to... We're going to get Lego Mandalorian, I wouldn't be surprised.
Or Ahsoka or something like that, yeah, so...
I don't know if they'll go Ahsoka. I could see them going Mandalorian.
Ahsoka will be a character, like a character within the game, probably. But.
Oh,
yeah, there you go, Jedi Survivor, Burley. You got to fight a rancor.
Yep, I've got this game pre-ordered, and they've released actually the file size, even on console.
Oh yeah,
it's like 147.5 gigs.
Wow.
So I'm glad I got that 1 terabyte SSD extra in my PS5.
That's too much, man.
It is. Man.
I'm glad I had some PS Star money of the points that paid for a decent amount.
Yeah.
The game looks incredible. I should really get that.
Should get a PS5 and play it. Yes, we know.
Why? I don't need a PS5. I got a Series X. Be
you
fine.
Need to play God of War, Ragnarok, Horizon.
Well, yeah, I do need that for that.
Astro's Playroom.
No, Astro's
Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet
you
and
take
garbage.
that. Ratchet's card. Spider-Man 2 coming this year.
Yeah, that one. Okay.
All right.
Do I have to play Returnal? My old dad.
All right. We'll let you slide on Return.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cut me some slack on that one.
All right, guys, it's time to talk about the upcoming new game releases. So our picks of the week for the week of April 24th through the 30th. So you can go and check out all of the releases on releases.com. So the link is below there for you. So let's go ahead and talk about the game releases. So I think, Burley, you are first this week. So go.
Oh, I'm first this week.
Yeah,
My
you're
pick of the
first.
week is Strayed Lights. Explore a dark, orniac world of rampant nature and corrupted cities. Embody a tiny being of light on its path towards awakening. Fight your inner demons and restore your balance. Coming Tuesday, April 25th. Coming to PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, and Xbox Series.
Nice. Interesting.
Just
Great visual style.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the visual style so good, and just like it doesn't look like you're going to be in these fights. You're just going to be locked in an area, like it's your 3D, so it's not just 2D. So this is just going to be crazy. These fights.
Interesting.
I expect a lot of deaths for when I play.
What else has this studio done? Is it Embers?
Yeah.
Yes, I believe it is Ember Studio.
Embers.
Yeah, I love the
but-
color palettes in this.
Oh, I love that like the color is changing on the hits.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's going to be some kind of cool mechanic of, you hit it this, it changed its element, you hit it now.
Nice.
This might be their first one because I don't see anything else on their website.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah. There's been a few other games out with that type of art style too, but yeah. All right, Carl, you're up next.
All right, we got The Last Case of Benedict Fox coming on April 27th to PC and Xbox One, Xbox Series, launching into Game Pass. Plunge into a realm of decaying memories as Benedict Fox, a self-proclaimed detective tethered to his demonic companion. Exploit this unholy bond to investigate the minds of recently departed, gathering clues while unraveling the enigma of a sprawling, dilapidated mansion, the scene of a young couple's gruesome murder and their child's disappearance. Engage with a sinister, captivating world filled with secret societies, forbidden rituals, and ruthless crimes, all portrayed through a mesmerizing, Burton-esque art style in this arcane adventure.
Yeah. Very Burton-esque indeed.
Yeah, this was one that was shown at one of the Xbox showcases, and it's a Metroidvania style game. Great art style. Sounds like an interesting story to it.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those that could be, one of those big indie darlings, but who knows? You never know.
The art style, a little bit of it kind of reminds me of Ori.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, good stuff. All right. The last case of Benedict Fox. All right. So, I don't know why the indie showcase popped up.
I was going to
again.
say, are you going for the cats?
No, I'm not going for the cats one, of course. So let me try to get to mine. Okay, here we go. All right. So obviously my pick of the week is Star Wars Jedi Survivor. So Star Wars Jedi Survivor is the next chapter of the beloved Star Wars action adventure series chronicling the journey of Jedi Cal Kestis. So it's set, Survivor picks up 5 years after the events of Jedi Fallen Order. Cal must stay one step ahead of the Empire's constant pursuit as he begins to feel the weight of being one of the last remaining Jedi in the galaxy. So accompanied by his trusty companion, BD-1, Cal will meet an ally himself with an array of unique and interesting characters on his journey. Jedi Survivor will expand on the series' dynamic combat in new and innovative ways. In order to survive, Cal must learn new skills and grow his connection with the Force. There's your ranker, Burley. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So coming to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X on the 28th. So next Friday. Yep. So good stuff.
Oh, this is a game I cannot wait, and especially put this up on, not just streaming it, but also putting this up on my 4K TV. Just really see how pretty this thing gets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotta play it in 4K 30, right?
4K 30. Okay.
That's for the Series X. The PS5, it's 4K 60.
It won't be 4K 60.
Yeah.
It'll be like 1440 at best, if dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All righty. Yep. So coming out on the 28th, guys, next Friday. So really excited to start playing that.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All righty. Okay, so next up, Carl, we've got, of course, Game Pass. So what is coming to Game Pass at the end of this month, and then, of course, in early May? What do we got coming?
Got some of the greatest video games ever. No.
For you, yeah, in your mind, yes.
I'm joking. I don't know. There's good stuff. I like this. I like this week. This week's good. Or this drop here. So we got Coffee Talk episode 2, Hibiscus and Butterfly, April 20th. So that one's out now. This sequel, well, not sequel, episode 2, right? To an interesting, favorably, reviewed game here. It's like I would say it's a what do you call it? Like a story-driven interactive sort of thing.
Okay.
Medieval Dynasty hitting Xbox One. That was already on other platforms. April 20th, already out. Homestead Arcana just came out on the 21st. Cloud PC, Xbox Series XS. No Xbox One.
I think Medieval Dynasty too. Or Medieval Dynasty. You can play on cloud too, I think.
I think because they're just announcing the Xbox One release.
Right.
It was already on the other platforms.
Yeah.
We have Cassette Beasts coming to PC only on April 26th, which looks like a cool turn-based RPG, like Pokemon style thing.
Ooh.
Yeah. That one looks really interesting, but it's only on PC, but it is coming to Xbox later. So it will be on Game Pass on Xbox if you're interested in that.
Nice.
Then you got Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle Special Edition on Cloud Console PC, April 27th. And that's one that I'm actually really interested in. I'm definitely going to play because it has Persona 4 characters in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because this one is a cross between a couple of other games. So Blaze Blue and of course Persona 4 Arena, which has a couple of Persona 3 characters in it as well.
Nice.
Then we had The Last Case of Benedict Fox also on April 27th, console and PC, as well as May 2nd, Redfall, cloud, console, PC.
Yeah. So interested to see how that plays out. I mean, with resolution and everything else and what everybody's, saying about it. So be interesting. Yeah.
Like Arcane makes really good games. So I expect it to be a good game. I don't know. I never really thought that anything shown for this game ever really said that this was going to be a big success.
Yeah.
And if you look at the history of Arcane, that's just how it goes. These games are reviewed well. There's a cult following for them, but they never, for some reason,
break in mainstream.
Yeah. Try as they might, because look what happened with Deathloop. PlayStation had the exclusivity on that, and they marketed the hell out of it. They showed it at every event possible. There were people like, all right, we've seen this enough already. Can we please not? We don't need to show it every time, but they kept showing it, it.
Yeah.
And it got great reviews, and it didn't sell that well. Who knows?
All right. So those are our Game Pass games for the end of this month and into May. So, of course, on our next show, we'll probably have some more drops for the beginning and further into May for Game Pass. So stay tuned for that. All right. And now for some programming notes. Obviously, Burley and I, we did our recap and discussion of the season finale of The Mandalorian, Chapter 24, The Return. So that is up here on the YouTube channel, here on the Arena Productions. So you can check that out. As well as, of course, our Season 2 trailer reactions for Star Trek Strange New Worlds. So we're really excited to bring you recap episodes when that premieres in June. So we're looking forward to season 2 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Really, really excited for that. And as well as Star Trek Picard, the final season and the season finale, The Last Generation, our recap of that episode, which was an amazing episode. So please check out our recap of that as well. And of course, for our video games, of course, our video game shows, of course, Extra Take is our supplemental series to the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. And our next episode, we're going to be breaking down and reacting to, of course, Horizon Forbidden West's Burning Shores DLC. So please stay tuned for that. That should be up probably around tomorrow. So please go and check that out as well. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff here on the Arena Productions. And of course, you can also get the Extra Take episodes as well as our Star Trek and Star Wars content on our Patreon, ad-free. So if you become a patron and help support our content over there, get all of our stuff ad-free over there. All right. So it's time to talk about the games that we're going to be playing this coming week. I'm going to try to finish up that Assassin's Creed Valhalla final DLC. And then I want to jump into Burning Shores as well as into to Jedi Survivor when it comes out on Friday. So, Carl, how about you? Still Persona 4?
Yeah, I'm gonna play some of that Blaze Blue cross tag. I'll make sure I jump into Lev. Because I keep wanting to play one of these Arc System games. Like Guilty Gear Strive came out recently on Game Pass, and because they look incredible. And I used to love fighting games. So I just want to, this was like, it'll be fun to play as some of my favorite characters in the other game that I'm currently playing. So. Oh, and The Last Kiss of Benedict Fox, I do really want to try. So, but I don't know if I'll get the time to do it.
I see. And Burley, how about you?
Well, obviously, Burning Shores, be going through more of that, finish the story, do some more on the side content on there. Hopefully, maybe try and finish Fire Emblem Engage through the week.
Nice.
And obviously, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Jedi
Survivor. Yep. All right. Yep. So, exciting times. Yeah, we're getting towards the end of April here and into May. So, Redfall is around the corner as well. So a lot of the bigger games are starting to release. So looking forward to that. Yeah. And of course, we got Zelda coming out in May as well. So big month coming up. So we're looking forward to bringing you all of that here on the Arena Productions and on the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. So
Zelda's running at a nice locked 27 frames per second.
27. That's way too high. 22.
All right. So it's time for our indie recording artist spotlight to end the show. So this week's spotlight is on Oliver Michael. Oliver Michael is a music producer and composer living in a small mountain town called Rossland, where he loves making his heartfelt music. So having spent half his life in South Africa and half in the UK and Canada has given him a unique perspective, which is ever present in the music he makes. He creates an emotional connection with his audience by making films more memorable with the textures of the music he composes, from the title song of his album called Forever. So this has been The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, episode 130. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burlyman Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. We hope to catch you in the next one. So take care, everyone, and enjoy the outro. Peace out.
wanna stay like this forever.